Okay, so here we are at McKinnis Canyons in Colorado at the Rattlesnake Arches Trailhead. We have a big pack rafting trip planned.
We're gonna hike down to the Colorado, pump up our pack rafts, put in, head through Horsethief and Ruby Canyons, and those will be Class 2 rapids. Then we'll go through Westwater Canyon, which will have Class 3 and 1 Class 4 rapid. So I'm really looking forward to the rapids, but you know, Skull Rapids Class 4, and it's definitely dangerous, so to be respected. I am optimistic, but we'll see how
I'm not going to do it.
No?
I don't think so.
Well, you know,
it has something in it called the Room of Doom.
Well, then just stay out of the room. Then, you know, that's the key.
So now we're going to head down the trail here and see if we can get down to the bottom of the canyon. This is not something that people normally do, hike from here into the river, so we're a little unsure how well this is going to work. Here we go. Here we are hiking down the Rattlesnake Canyon Trail. The views are absolutely incredible if you look over there. So far this is super easy, but I know from reading on the internet there's going to be a part that's a little tricky to get us down to the river.
You know, I think we just got our first sneak peek of what's ahead of us. You know, sometimes you start at the trailhead and you're like, oh, is it going to be worth it? But you know, just taking in this view and knowing that there's more to come, definitely looking forward to see what this reveals.
I've known Hank since high school.
We just fly up this, and then there's another big descent right here.
Yep.
See that?
Yep.
Okay.
We usually get together about once a year for a epic adventure, which Hank plans and guides.
We started to get that funny feeling that maybe we were on the wrong track, and we looked closer at our map, and what we realized is that we're gonna have to double back and hopefully get back on track.
You can't go on a trip with Hank Lucart without something being poorly planned. That's the rules.
As we were talking about the options for the trip, Hank threw out a couple options, some hikes, some pack rafting, and I said, look, if possible, I don't even know how this would work, but on my bucket list would be whitewater rapids on the Colorado River. Hank then did his thing, researched permits, and ended up coming up with a pack raft down the narrowest part of the Colorado River and a hike in through a slot canyon.
Westwater Canyon and Ruby and Horsethief Canyon are road accessible. They're boat launches. But one of the cool things about pack rafts is they only weigh 5 pounds, which means you can carry them in a backpack, and it opens up a world of trip possibilities that you normally couldn't get.
We're continuing into Rattlesnake Canyon here, and this is a very exposed part of the trail, which it honestly is not clear how in the world we get to the bottom.
So that's what I wanted to do to start off this trip, is to give us a really cool canyon hike into the river. I knew there would be some route finding and some unknowns because most pack rafters don't come in that way.
I think I might try to go through.
But there's a lot of time where I'm just sitting on my computer looking at maps saying, I wonder if this would work. And every time I just pick something random like that and research it, and then we actually do it as a trip, it makes me feel more confident in my trip planning skills, because suddenly I'm building a trip that I've invented that no one's ever done before.
When I go on these trips, I really do like to challenge myself, and I told Hank, make it strenuous, make it hard. So we could have put in at a boat ramp, but Hank added on this Rattlesnake Canyon hike, which ended up being a lot more difficult than we thought, which was a good thing. It was a long descent. It was pretty tricky since we had about, I'd say 40 to 50 pounds on our back with all of our food and our pack rafts. And it was a little bit hairy to make it down through loose rock and this tight trail. In a way, it was completely unnecessary, but aren't all these trips in a way completely unnecessary?
So here we are now in Rattlesnake Canyon proper. Very cool sandstone walls and sandstone structures. And it's narrowing, which is kind of fun. We should be at the Colorado River, I would think, in the next 10-15 minutes. Then we'll be able to inflate our pack rafts and head downriver. Okay, we're here at the Colorado River, so now we're inflating our pack rafts to head out on the first paddling leg of our trip, which goes through 2 canyons. Horsethief Canyon, named for the outlaws that used to hide there, and Ruby Canyon, for the red sandstone cliffs on the canyon walls. I think it's going to be mostly flat water, but we'll likely hit some Class 2 wave trains.
Rattlesnake Canyon was supposed to be an easy hike in, just to warm up.
Pretty difficult.
Yeah, it was a little more than expected, but
and we got down here, we have some nice people over here who are in huge rafts that started in Loma, so making us feel like, why did we just bother to do that?
turns out there's a boat ramp. You can actually park at it.
We could have just parked right up there.
All right, well, we got the pack rafts inflated, and I think we're ready to put in on the Colorado. Get this trip started.
Okay, you ready? Your dreams are coming true. We're rafting the Colorado River. Good, how are you doing? Yep, couldn't be better out here.
A rafting crew came through, and they're checking out our rafts, and we're on a pretty laid-back part of the river here, so they kind of made sense to them. And then when they found out that our plans were to go all the way to Westwater Canyon, they're like, in those? And we're like, yeah. And then the guy goes, watch out for Skull Rapids. Room of Doom!
So Jake's now really excited, and I'm just terrified. I don't want to go anymore. So we're entering Ruby Canyon right now. The canyon walls are rising real high around us. And of course, Utah is like the Old West anyway, but there's something about like having train tracks along the Colorado River while you're paddling that really feels like we're in 1880 or like in Westworld or something. So it's the morning here at the Me campsite on Ruby Canyon. We're just packing up our bags, and today we're heading out to Westwater Canyon. Yeah, we're gonna cross the Colorado-Utah border today and get into Westwater, where we'll hit Little Wild Horse Rapids.
Just taking some time today to make sure the bag's tied down nice and tight so it doesn't pop off when and if we flip.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I'm going to flip, and I'm pretty sure my bags are going to fall off and Jake's bags are going to be very well attached. Because I'm a little bit more of a mess, but that's okay. Maybe Jake will flip and I'll never flip.
Yeah, maybe.
I just keep on keeping on with the hustle and grind. Hey, yeah. You won't find me worrying about nickels and dimes. I got a dream, but I'm catching on it so much time. I ain't gonna let it get away. Let it get away this time.
Okay, so we've passed into Utah from Colorado. Here on the Colorado River, the excitement is building because we are starting to near the beginning of Westwater Canyon, which should be the place where some Class 3 rapids begin.
Westwater Canyon's already living up to the hype.
Those were better rapids than anything we've seen so far, so that's good.
This is Hank. I'm Jake.
Hey, Carlos.
Charlie, Tessa, nice to meet you guys. Definitely got some water over the deck. Yeah, excited for tomorrow because I think this is just getting warmed up.
Look out there.
Thank you.
Got it.
We're about to shoot the main section of Westwater Canyon where all the Class 3, Class 4 rapids are.
There are 11 major rapids in Westwater, and we're about to paddle 2 through 5, Little Dolores, Marble, Staircase, and Big Hummer, which are all Class 3. But after that, we'll hit the hard ones. Funnel Falls, which has drowned paddlers at high flows, Surprise, Skull, the toughest hazard in the canyon, Bowling Alley, Sock It To Me, and Last Chance, a double drop only second to Skull's difficulty.
I'm scared.
I'm excited.
Jake's not scared of anything ever, but I am definitely anxious about the whole thing.
Yeah, no, I think it's gonna be fun. Although I did re-rig my boat, like everything's different, so who knows how that's gonna go.
As the saying goes, when everything's working fine, totally change it and then go to the most dangerous part.
The waves are getting bigger.
Yeah, it seemed like the biggest thing we've done.
Bird is heavy, but I carry every ball and chain. Gonna feel the air under your feet. I'll be the pulse and rhythm when you feel you're drifting off the beat.
That was cool. I like that.
Good. Under me. I'll be your soul shaker. I'll be your rainmaker. So tell me, are you ready for the fire? For the fire? I'll be your storm chaser. I'll be your human nature. So tell me.
So there's Funnel, then Surprise, then Skull.
I feel like it's gonna be over too soon.
I know. I wish like we'd have some crazy, some flat, and then some more crazy, because like I feel like I'll feel more confident once I get through this part.
Ain't got no limits. I'm standing high. Yeah. We can see the world through a diamond eyes. Ain't no need to hide. And I'll give you shelter till you warm inside. This stormy weather can't break us if it tries.
I love this stuff. I think I could do like an hour straight of those waves.
Oh, I'll be your soul shaker. I'll be your rainmaker. So tell me, are you ready for the fire? For the fire? I'll be your.
I thought I was a goner on that one twice.
Yeah. You okay? You okay?
Yeah.
Woo! Holy
Whew. Yeah, that was a little scary. Do we think that was Skull Rapids?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, that was the tough rapid. I don't even know what I would do different.
I don't even remember what happened. After our flip, I decided I wanted to run Skull Rapids one more time.
I felt like I had had enough of it, but Jake, as his way, definitely wanted some more excitement. No problem with that.
So we crossed the river, portage, took my bags off to lighten up the kayak, and I hiked back to the beginning of Skull Rapids. The girls that we shared a campsite with last night were about to run Skull Rapids for the first time. I watched them run it. One of them did great, made it through with her hard shell. The other lost her boat, got stranded on a rock, and her boat drifted into the Ruba Dune. I start to make my line. I was still trying to take kind of the tougher line, which is like a little bit to the right and then go left. Really never made it to the go left. I kind of rolled right out the first wave, flipped. The big difference this time is that my boat got stuck in an eddy and I was in Ruba Dune. Eventually it did break itself loose, but it kept going downriver, unfortunately. I thought maybe I could portage downriver, get below the rapids, and maybe find my boat down there. That ended up being a pretty kind of hairy scramble. Definitely had to use some rock climbing skills and some rock scrambling, but I made it over and kind of on the other side of the rapid and signaled to Hank. Hank loaded up all of our bags and ran the next rapid and did an amazing job, which like just crushed it. It looked like he was going to flip multiple times and recovered. And I jumped in right below that rapid with my bags and floated down to the spot we're in right now. So now we're in a little bit of a predicament. What I want to do would be to actually swim the river with my gear, but we know that there's some class 3, class 4 rapids in succession coming up. It would also put Hank in a tough situation if I got separated from my gear, or I got caught in a rapid or a hole and couldn't get out.
What I think we should do is wait for a raft. I'm hoping that any minute now a raft will come down Skull Rapid. Jake could jump in it with his gear, hitch a ride until we find his blue boat farther down river. I'm assuming the boat's probably not that far down river, but we haven't seen it yet, and then we can go from there. In the meantime, I am definitely feeling anxious about like how we're gonna get out of this situation.
Hey man, I lost my boat. Yeah, can I hitch a ride? Yeah. All right.
Thank you very much.
One of the rafts pulled over, and turns out Matt from Grand Junction was nice enough to let me on his boat with my gear. Eventually, we actually spot my boat. It was right past Sakatumi, so I'm excited. I'm gonna have the boat. I was pleasantly surprised that we were able to navigate our way out of it, and Hank is coming down the river right behind us.
I was so relieved that we figured out how to get Jake's raft back, and I'm lucky I was with someone I trusted to not panic and make good decisions under pressure.
I am blessed to have a handful of people in my life that are willing to head out on adventures at a moment's notice, and I hope for everyone that they have a friend like Jake to go on adventures with, because you don't want to go on big adventures all by yourself, and also, you know, it's a lot more fun to do it with someone who you've known for many years.
Now, I was optimistic that Hank was going to crush Sakatumi because he'd done so well on the last rapids.
Oh!
Now coming up is Last Chance. To me, when you sign up for an adventure like this, it's just that. It's an adventure. You don't actually know how it's going to go. You almost don't want it to go perfectly smooth. And while I didn't anticipate that I was going to lose the boat, we got a great story to tell for it. To me, it was a great adventure. You know, probably one of Hank and I's best adventures to date. And yeah, no regrets.
'Cause I'm reckless, yeah, I'm reckless, and I always seem to fall on the wrong side of the law. 'Cause I'm reckless and I can't help my reckless ways, my reckless ways, my reckless ways, my reckless ways.
That was like a total yard sale, and somehow I got everything.
The stuff came off the boat.
Yeah, I guess this bag didn't come off, but this was loose, the Nalgene was loose, the boat was loose.
Well, I'm proud of us. I'm glad